I don't have much time for an intro, so here's an oversimplified version of the Odyssey. The story takes place around 1174 BC, 10 years after the sacking of Troy. The location is mainly Greece, but a good chunk of the story also takes place in the Adriatic Sea. Here's how the book opens. The gods are starting to feel bad for Odysseus, whose problems we'll get to in another book. Athena figures that our man has had enough suffering and lets Zeus know that she's gonna go and hang out over here in Ithaca. Unfortunately, Odysseus' wife Penelope is caught in a forced game of the Bachelorette with her son Telemachus becoming a laughingstock amongst the suitors, that not only forced Penelope to play the Bachelorette with them, but are also eating them out of the house. The next day, Telemachus gets up and gathers a crowd. He says, "Look, guys, you gotta help me out. I'm trying to figure out where my dad is and suitors are taking over my house. I can't get rid of them since I'm too weak. Can y'all help?" The crowd says, but one guy named Antinous says to Telemachus,
"Well, actually it's Penelope's fault for stalling us, and you're just giving us the speech to make us feel bad. Just send your mom to her dad so he can arrange a marriage for her."
Zeus then sends a sign to the crowd, which was of a beautiful scene of two eagles flying wing to wing down a mountain, and oh my god, they're attacking the lowlands. A man named Holythropy interpreted this attack as a sign that Odysseus was indeed coming, and the suitors were going to get brutally massacred. Eurymachus, one of the suitors, provided a compelling argument against Holythropy's interpretation by saying that his interpretation was stupid, he should have died with Odysseus, and then told Telemachus to send Penelope to her dad. Another dude named Mentor, who was looking over the meeting, said to the crowd, "Guys, why don't you remember how cool of a ruler Odysseus was? I'm more angry that none of you are helping this kid than the suitors themselves." If you were expecting a Braveheart moment, then I hate to burst your bubble. The crowd doesn't do anything and just goes home. Telemachus does the same and yells at the suitors again, but the suitors just start being jerks at him. So he runs out to the beach to pray to Athena, all like, "Athena, help." So she comes over disguised as Mentor and tells him to get provisions for the voyage, and while Telemachus is doing that, she hollers to people,
"Guys, we're going on a trip on our favorite paddle ship."
And lo and behold, a crew of 20 was together. The crew then lands at Pylos, and Telemachus would have stayed on the ship had Athena not come up and be like, "Dude, you'll be fine, just go and talk to him." He goes over and asks Nestor about where his dad might be. Nestor tells him, "Yeah, so after we pranked Troy thanks to the help of Odysseus, the army had a disagreement about whether we should stay or leave. Agamemnon wanted to stay while Odysseus left, but turned back since he changed his mind. And that was the last time I've heard from him. Menelaus may have more information about where he might be, so I'd say hello to him." So then Telemachus and the gang spend the night there. Athena goes over to Zeus and tells him, "Yo, the dude's had enough, let him go." Okay. He sends down Hermes to Ogygia, where he tells Calypso, "Yo, the dude's had enough, let him go." But Hermes, why isn't it okay for nymphs like me to take mortal men like Odysseus to bed to engage in the process of creating offspring? That involves actions which are not approved of by One Day Academy, but gods can do so with mortal women. Don't care, let him go. Hermes then left and Calypso helped Odysseus craft a boat so he can leave. Odysseus then left and with the help of a nymph safely gets to Phaeacian territory where the king gives him a boat. He is finally home at Ithaca where he greets Telemachus and they make a plan which was to lock the suitors into a room and murder them all. Telemachus would hide their armor while they were asleep. They go home and set their plan into action by first having Telemachus hide their armor and weapons. Penelope sets up a contest to where only someone like Odysseus could marry her. The contest was that you had to string Odysseus' retardedly strong bow and shoot it through 12 axe heads. Athena disguises Odysseus as a beggar. He walks inside and watches as each of the suitors fail to string the bow. Odysseus easily does it and shoots through the axe heads. He then reveals himself as Odysseus to the suitors and they realize they were screwed. Maids lock the doors on the suitors, Odysseus and Telemachus. So after Telemachus and Odysseus killed the suitors and only sparing two, he is reunited with Penelope. The end.